Hi, this is Yaakov Hirsch, and I want to take the side of Donald Trump uh, and argue that Jake Tapper is fake news. Not that I agree with Donald Trump about much, if anything, other than that Jake Tapper is fake news. But that Jake Tapper is fake news, I strongly agree with him. And my argument is going to be that the job of a journalist is uh, to explain the world that a viewer needs to know or a reader needs to know, right? That's what Jake Tapper is. So the reason why he gets the big bucks, why he's one of the best journalists in the world, is he's interpreting for the viewer things that people who have normal lives with jobs, haven't studied, aren't big experts. So Jake Tapper is the big expert of explaining what's going on in the world, right? Now, I am going to play Donald Trump to show Donald Trump's perspective. And that's an important point to know, is that Donald Trump has a perspective. And the problem with journalism today is that it's almost a sin to think that Donald Trump has a perspective, which we will get to in a second. So I'm going to play Donald Trump, and the way I know how to play Donald Trump is because I just look at Donald Trump and he's just giving me the information. He's telling me these things about himself. And I'll tell you what he's telling me. Take the Iraq War, for example. This is from listening to Donald Trump and knowing that he's lying whatever percent of the time and whatever, having some sense that a lot of things are not as they seem. Still, we could still work with that, hopefully, to some extent. So take the Iraq War. During one of the debates, Hillary claimed that Trump was in favor of the Iraq War. And what happened was Trump just went off. He said, "What are you talking about?" What happened, I think, in real life, what happened was that Trump was on a Howard Stern show, and Howard Stern asked him something about the Iraq War. He probably didn't know anything. He said, "Sure, Iraq War, why not? Okay, or something to that effect." However, much longer, a year, 2 years, whatever, then he started getting more political or started studying it for whatever reason. He decided, or he thought, and he's, I think, very proud of this, that he was against the Iraq War. While all other Republicans were in favor of the Iraq War, one thing by looking at Donald Trump is that it's real. The fact that he was against the Iraq War, he believes he was against the Iraq War. So what happened in one of the debates is that you know Trump. It's like when a liar is accused of lying when they actually tell the truth. That's how Trump behaved. He's lying so much at a time, but as far as the Iraq War, he feels he was on the right side, and almost that alone he feels should make him president, because all the other Republicans were gung ho, and even for the war, and even Clinton. So now he's being accused of being against the Iraq, of being for the Iraq War. So this is a great challenge to him, to way Trump understands himself. So he started saying, "What are you talking about? I had a conversation with Sean Hannity. Ask, where's Sean Hannity in the audience? Don't you remember Sean?" So what? So looking at the man, you just see this is real. That Trump was trying to. Sean Hannity was in favor of the war, and Trump, our president right now, was trying to convince Sean Hannity that it was a bad idea. And Trump, as you can tell, is is excited. But this is a great achievement, is it, in his mind, and that achievement is being challenged. So he needs to set the record straight, uh, and that's why he started talking, and that's why he is talking about um, this conversation he had about the Iraq War with, that's why he went off. He went off into the weeds, as we will hear Jake Tapper analyze what happened, which I'm going to play that audio at the end of my little thing here, and you'll hear Jake Tapper's response. So that is me as Donald Trump, being at the debate, and that's my reaction when Hillary Clinton accuses me or suggests that I was in favor of the Iraq War when it's important to me for myself. Forget about how it looks to the viewers, but to myself, it's like, no, it's not true. Everyone's accusing me of being a liar, but now I'm not lying for sure. I know I was against the Iraq war. Okay, let's come to today. Again, let's look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump at that news conference, how would you describe his body language? What was happening? He was frustrated, right? In his mind, he sees double standards anywhere. And you look, of course he's not totally in touch with reality. But we're not going to get anywhere if every time you want to talk about Donald Trump, you're going to just keep on laughing. Ha ha ha. Look what he said today. Look what he said today. Which this is the favorite pastime of the media. Just, yes, we understand. Everyone already understands the situation. He is not a normal president. But if people want to know, if Americans want to know what happened today at the news conference, what's the signal? What's the news? Everyone is really curious at what's going on. They're scared and hope, whatever it is, people need to know what's happening. So Donald Trump, whatever happened in the actual news conference, you need to look at the man and say, what's this about for him? Is he trying to get supporters, or what's going on? And it's very clear he is like fed up, right? In his mind, we're not judging right, wrong. We're just saying, if I was a shrink, I'd say, if I was a shrink, I'd look at him and say, what's his state of mind? His state of mind is this is his experience of the world. He's president, whatever happened before, now he really wants to do the right thing. Donald Trump wants to make America great. This is in his mind. And he does a few good things, which he's pretty sure about. Everyone around him tells him they're great. He looks at the coverage and he's like, that's just not fair. Why am I getting bad coverage? I did something good. And he again thinks about Hillary Clinton, goods, because in his mind, that's his experience of the world. There are double standards everywhere. So this news conference was a president being frustrated and saying, guys, I'm not getting good coverage. You guys are not being fair. It's fake news. I'm not getting credit. I'm watching the news. It's not right. All I want is a fair break. So why is he saying that? Is he saying that as Netanyahu does to really aggravate everyone against the media, which he has done which Trump has done during the campaign to get actually support by baiting the media? But that's not what happened today. Today, this is a guy who's president. He's like, hey, I'm basically willing to work with you guys, with the media, if you just give me a chance. Now, of course, I can go into the different discussions he had and different exchanges, but that was screaming from Donald Trump. You guys are not giving me a chance, and it's not fair, and my voters know it. They're looking up at you, and this is his experience of the world, Trump. It's not propaganda on Trump's part. There's Trump who's doing propaganda, which a lot of the campaign was, and there's not propaganda, and that him being against the Iraq war was not propaganda, and him today, that discussion with the media, that frustration was not propaganda. It was him believing that it's just not right. And if you're a journalist, you need to that is the story. The story is that Trump thinks that he's doing all these right things, and everywhere he looks, the media is just not giving him credit. Now you have to deal with that reality. Now, of course, Trump is doing things that um, no one else has done. Clearly, that's not the question. But the question is, the effective way to cover him is not the way Jake Tapper is covering him, because Jake Tapper has dehumanized Donald Trump. That means Jake Tapper does not look at Donald Trump the way I just described Donald Trump. He doesn't look at Donald Trump and say, okay, what type of Donald Trump do we have today? What's he up to? What's bothering him? What's on his mind? That Jake Tapper is not being a journalist. He's judging. He's moralizing. He's lecturing Donald Trump. That's what this is. What is he offering to the world with this lecture about, oh my God, no one has ever given a news conference like that? What's the point of that? We all know if Donald Trump gives a news conference, it's going to be different than anything anyone ever saw, no matter what it is, right? And what, when Jake Tapper, what expertise is Jake Tapper using when he's analyzing Donald Trump over here? He's not being a journalist, right? Because the journalist is saying, what's going on with, what's up to, what's different why is this news conference different than the other one? Instead, he's just mocking Donald Trump. Now, imagine Donald Trump being Donald Trump and having the world and being things a bit skewed as they are. And imagine him watching the clips that I'm about to play of his experience of the world, where he knows he was for, he was against the Iraq war. This is what Donald Trump knows about the world. And he says to himself, at least they're going to give me credit for that I'm against the Iraq war. And he really feels so accomplished as a politician, as a strategist, whatever, Donald Trump, that he was against the Iraq war. So if he sees someone saying, so that is his experience of the world. When people say, he doesn't understand why they're saying that he was for the Iraq war. He just knows that he said it 100 different times, and he knows it's true, and he doesn't understand why people are just making up that it's not true. That's his experience of the world. So Jake Tapper is poisoning the discourse with the way he is describing the world, the way he's describing Donald Trump. Imagine Donald Trump, the president, listening to Jake Tapper just do what? I don't know what Jake Tapper is doing, but Jake Tapper is not describing the reality of Donald Trump that Americans need to know. So I am going to play right now a couple. I am going to play now. I just cut off. I'll repeat myself. I'm going to play now a couple of these